just find myself like incredibly lucky and quite grateful of everything that I have, because I like, you know, I get to work with amazing people now. At the beginning it was just a merge lead, it was just my brand, like that's all I made, and then I just started talking to people and just kind of going, look, I need help, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, yeah, but I'm learning it, and you know, if I can give you something, you can give me something. I did like one photo shoot in summer and literally it blew everything out of the water. People were just like, you're actually really good at this. So then I got started getting paid for photography, then film, and then before I knew it, people were asking me about social media and stuff like that and how to penetrate the market, because I was working with influencers that have got like 200,000 followers. So I've got like 20 people who all have that massive following. You learn something. Okay, so by this point it's February 2018 and you know, photography is kicking off. I started working with massive social influencers with like over, well, anything between 200k and 500k followers, and I was learning the social media aspect of how everything works. Now, that's why I said photography was such a big thing for our company. And the reason why it was such a massive thing for the company was I had no idea what I was doing. Remember guys, I told you before in the last video, marketing wasn't exactly my strong point, and I had no idea how to actually get people's attention. So being around those sorts of people was of course going to help me be able to tackle this issue that I had. So essentially the first thing that I did with Emerge Elite was not go after big brands, was not pay a lot of people to wear my clothes. Nothing like that. What I actually started doing was one thing that a great guy called Alex Crockford taught me, which was build the audience that you want to be around. And that was it. That was the start of everything that made some significant differences in the world of Emerge Elite. We started spending about 2 to 3 hours a day sitting on social media, essentially finding every single person that I physically could in the United Kingdom that would even just listen to me for 2 seconds. Because obviously, selling clothing is really freaking difficult to do in the space. It really is. I'm not going to bullshit around it. But one thing that's not difficult, that you can do on your phone, that you can do in person, or whatever, is have conversations with people. So that's all I started doing. You know, when people ask me all these big questions about social media, how did they make an audience, how did I make an audience, think about it in an old century sort of way. So if you were looking back when it was your local butcher, you didn't have phones, you didn't have internet, you didn't have anything like that. How did you promote your business? Well, it was usually, oh yeah, it's Big John down the road. Big John is the butcher that you go to. Why? Because his family's owned it for 100 years or something like that. It's word of mouth, it's communication, and it's trust. And that's the thing that I found, especially from dealing with big social media influencers. Once you got trust with your audience, you could convert them into paying clients quite easily. Now, I say that and you're probably thinking, oh, so that's the only reason that you talk to us. No, it's not. Okay, I love talking to every single person that I've come in contact with since starting doing this series. The people who've been messaging me are absolutely incredible. The influence that it's made, the conversations that it started. You know, a lot of people don't know a lot about Emerge Elite. That's what I like. I like having conversations with people. I like getting to know people. I like knowing what makes you tick. You know, I like what makes you happy in a day and all this kind of stuff. So that's, you know, marketing for me is really nice and really easy because I genuinely want to know my audience. I don't just want you to sit there and buy my stuff and have, like, no connection with me. That is boring. I've always wondered where it all started for me. And I guess it was America. It was 6 years ago. And today I got to go back and really relive it and document it, and for the first time I'm able to show people what this place means to me. Alright guys, what is up? You're probably thinking from that intro, what the hell am I on about? Because... So it's actually quite funny. America, when I moved there in 2012, was such a significant point in my life anyway. And I didn't realise how significant it was going to be until I revisited it in 2018. I revisited my best friend and she was pregnant, and it just showed how much we had developed as people in our lives. Also at this point, you know, 2018, like the whole entirety of this episode is basically to show you that though nothing really happened with Emerge Elite, a lot of things in my life changed in order to give myself that acceleration into 2019. It was definitely a self-awareness sort of year. It made me realise that I didn't have to just lift weights and put my face all over the internet for people to get to know me. I could do so much more, I could be so much more, I could offer so much more to people. So that was when film and photography kicked off. I got to go back to places that made significant impacts in my life and go revisit them as an entirely new person, and it was absolutely fucking fantastic. You know, I put this over workout footage because, to be totally honest, I wanted people to see where I am right now. The next few episodes are going to be very different from what you've seen up until now. They're going to be about the successes that we had as a company in 2019, thanks to the efforts that we put in 2018. But also, I want to give a shout out right now to every single person that has ever contacted me about this company, about Emerge Elite. It means the absolute world to me. Your support has always meant the world to me. And there's a lot of people that when I announced that we were finally doing another launch, the happiness that they had was incredible. And a lot of people have watched what I've gone through in the last couple of years and supported me, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I want to take you to this moment. I'm stripping. But at the beginning of 2021, I was 15 kilograms heavier. I was a lot bigger, and you can see that on the screen right now. I made a very significant change in my life in this year, and I have definitely classed this year as the year that I went back to 2018. I went back to figuring out what made me tick again and helping people and really doubling down on the things that mean something to me instead of appeasing to everyone else and what people were telling me to do. I took the information that I had learned and put it into my own scenario. So yeah, thank you so much for joining in with this. I know it's a little bit of a teaser, but you'll find out in the next episode. we forget that everyone has a breaking point in life, and that's not just a negative. You know, you have breaking points in life where it's a positive and you finally get past that boundary that you've been trying to accomplish for a while. But especially with, you know, the whole mental health awareness month, it's very much a topic that we should probably talk about. I don't think there's the typical saying, you know, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say anything at all, or, you know, you don't judge someone else's life because you have no idea what they're going through, and all this kind of stuff. And I get it, like I get it. The difference is, here's my own personal viewpoint on it, and this is how I've practically lived my life for a while now, is that I don't expect anyone to do anything for me. I don't expect my family to always get me out of tough situations. I don't expect my friends to always be there. I don't expect my partner to be 100% the best person ever in my life. I expect them to be human, and I expect them to be honest and open. And if you have that sort of connection with people, the difference is if you put a lot of pressure on someone, that's why they have breaking points. Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone has that limit that they're willing to go up to until they snap, and then they don't take anymore. And unfortunately, we are very much living in a society which is kind of saying that you have to act like you don't have a problem. You have to act like you're big and tough and you're going to be fine. And that is true, but then at some points, go and find help. If you feel as though you cannot control what you're thinking or feeling anymore, then you may just need some help. So for me, my life has got easier now that I don't expect things out of people. I don't expect people to be amazing 100% of the time, because then, in a way, it's because I don't want them to do the same to me. That sounds selfish, and it's meant to. But I don't want people, I don't want my friends to always expect me to make everything okay, and I don't want my family to always think that I'm going to be the best daughter in the world, because then it allows me to live life a lot freer and a lot more happier, because I'm able to know that I can make these mistakes and learn from it and not be judged as harsh as some people do. Some people go through their entire lives feeling like they have to prove something to their family, to their friends, to their other half, to society, and you just don't. You just have to be yourself. And this is why we talk a lot about, you know, you push someone so far and there's a breaking point, and then when that person snaps, oh, you better watch out. But then we don't realise that there's a breaking point to success. There's a breaking point to someone actually doing well. And but the problem is that we expect them to do well. You know, like, it's one of those things. If someone trains to run for a marathon, you expect them to do well. But sometimes just getting up and going for a run can be the most difficult part of their day, maybe because they have underlying issues, or just because they just don't feel like it. That is an accomplishment. That is a breaking point, because they are doing something that they didn't think that they could do. Everyone has breaking points. It's life. Life is valleys and peaks and divots and roundabouts and everything. And it's just life. And it's why I found it easier to not ask anyone to expect anything out of me, so I don't expect anything out of anyone else. And to be honest, I'm able to be my truer self with